Bronfenbrenner was born April 29, 1917 in Moscow, Russia, as the son of Dr. Alexander and Eugene Bronfenbrenner. At the age of 6, his family relocated to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and later to a more rural part of New York. His father was a neurologist at Lynchwood Village, which is a hospital for the developmentally disabled. In 1938, at the age of 21, Yuri received his bachelor's in psychology and music from Cornell University. In 1940, at the age of 23, he received his master's in developmental psychology from Harvard, and in 1942, at the age of 25, he received his doctorate from University of Michigan. The following day, he joined the U.S. Army and served as a psychologist in various military bodies during World War II. Following the war, he went on to be an assistant chief clinical psychologist for the newly founded VA Clinical Psychology Training Program for Washington, D.C., then an assistant professor at the University of Michigan. In 1948, he set his foundations at Cornell University, where he based his research on child development and the impact of social forces in this development. After joining a federal panel that focused on the development in impoverished children in the mid-1960s, he contributed to the development of Head Start in 1965. Bronfenbrenner's primary theoretical contribution was his ecological systems theory, which are represented in 4 distinct systems. He calls these the microsystem, the mesosystem, the exosystem, the macrosystem, and the chronosystem. Each system contains roles, norms, and rules that can powerfully shape development. These systems contain how everything in a child and a child's environment affect how a child grows and develops. Bronfenbrenner recognized that not only is it necessary to understand how the family or school influences human development, but broader influences as well. The microsystem refers to an immediate environment such as the family, school, peer group, neighborhood, and child care environments. The mesosystem is a system comprised of connections between immediate environments such as the child's home and school. The exosystem involves external environment settings or social settings which only indirectly affect development, such as a parent's workplace or service available in the community. The macrosystem involves the larger cultural context such as the Eastern versus the Western culture, national economy, political culture, and subcultures. The chronosystem pertains to the patterning of environmental events and transitions over a course of life. According to the ecological theory, if the relationships in the immediate microsystem break down, the child will not have the tools to explore the other parts of his or her environment. Children looking for the affirmations that should be present in the child and or parent relationship or child and or other important adult relationship look for attention in inappropriate places. These deficiencies should show themselves, especially in adolescence, as antisocial behavior, lack of self-discipline, and the inability to provide self-direction. According to the Public School Review, it is stated that 10 major challenges that public schools face are classroom size, poverty, family factors, technology, bullying, student attitudes, the No Child Left Behind Act, parent involvement, student health, and funding. These are all factors that impact the child in more ways than one. SPLH-DL integrates Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory within the school setting. For example, the microsystem includes peers, family, community, and schools. The mesosystem includes the parental involvement in their child's school. The exosystem includes the perceptions of staff and teachers of the school environment and opportunities of professional development around bullying, school violence, school climate, English language learners, suicide, or response to intervention. The macrosystem includes the cultural blueprint, which may determine the social structures and activities in various levels, such as organizational, social, cultural, and political contexts, which influence the interactions with other system levels. Finally, the chronosystem would include the consistency or changes that occur within the child's life, such as changes in the family structure or life events. As a teacher, incorporating Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory into their practice only allows them to understand the child as well as allows them to be of better service in the long run. Ms. Sandoval A 7th-8th grade teacher at Arrowview Middle School in San Bernardino, California, stated that instead of sending a child out for misbehaving, she attempts to understand the child's behavior. She states that one does not know if the child has lost a loved one, just experienced a drive-by shooting the night before, is scared of his or own neighborhood, or is hungry. Most importantly, she stated that the child is not mad at the teacher, but just doesn't know how to deal with his or her emotions. Allison and Rem stated that the following methods are considered to be effective when incorporated in the classroom, which provide the child with the support needed: creating a supportive and welcoming learning environment, implementing effective teaching strategies, incorporating a variety of assessments, providing challenging lessons that reflect high expectations, and communicating with parents and engaging them in their child's education. Although this article was aimed towards ELL students, which is a population teachers also work with, these are also strategies that can be used in a wide population. A teacher who has a decent understanding of Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory can also build great rapport with the child and effectively incorporate these methods. Overall, the last and first method are key. Learners stated that a positive school culture of achievement with strong measures of safety, cultural identification, and personalization promotes success despite the at-risk community a child lives in. Bronfenbrenner's theory would rely on teachers to attempt to understand the student at various levels in order to provide and/or implement effective methods of learning as well as aid in their social-emotional well-being. For example, Ms. Sandoval chooses to teach her students alternative methods of thinking. When a student says, "I am not smart enough," she asks them to use a more positive phrase, which is located at the back of the classroom, along with other positive phrases that counteract a negative one. In this case, the student would turn around and say, "I am smart, and I can find a solution." It is simple teaching methods like these that help shift the type of impact a child has within the school environment, which can outweigh the negative circumstances they are facing or will face, instill resiliency, and promote success.
Yuri Bronfenbrenner strongly believed that learning is a function of social interaction and is made up of multiple dimensions and subdimensions. Bronfenbrenner's theory, a theory used to understand human development, is often used to explore a student's learning and their learning environment. Bronfenbrenner would argue that the more developed, the more experience, and the more practice a school counselor has, the more a student's learning environment is ultimately influenced. If school counselors have these attributes, it will increase their effectiveness as educators. Bronfenbrenner was also a huge advocate of utilizing data in an effort to evaluate a student's intentions, which is often a vital part of a school counselor's everyday job duties. As professional school counselors, one has the job duty of analyzing the various factors that contribute to the behavior of our students. Everything from analyzing their family life, school, peer group, and community life is crucial in helping students succeed across multiple domains. Bronfenbrenner's model focuses on the developing person, his or her environment, and the evolving interaction between the person and the environment. Bronfenbrenner placed great emphasis on the key circles of influence, which are cultural, socioeconomic, and political factors in an individual's life. A student's behavior is often a reflection of these circles of influence, and as school counselors, we must understand where students are coming from. We must make an effort to put ourselves in their shoes and utilize empathy. It is vital to ask questions such as, when did you first start thinking this way? What cultural and socioeconomic factors could have led to these thoughts? What would you like to happen? Counselors provide both directive and consultative services, and Bronfenbrenner's social ecology model provides a beneficial framework for understanding and supporting students' families across many transitions. School counselors are often key to family support and family involvement because of their perspective on the emotional impact of different crises. School counselors that provide services to the families of our students can apply Bronfenbrenner's model to help families with adjustment processes and or encourage family involvement. This involves helping students deal with divorce, a parent remarrying, the death of a loved one, and the separation of siblings. These are all realistic and difficult moments that school counselors help their students go through on a daily basis. When this occurs, feelings of guilt, anxiety, and depression occur, and counselors help family members work through these feelings. School counselors do this in multiple manners, but an extremely effective way counselors do this is by linking family members with other members who are going through similar experiences.
As school-based mental health professionals, it is our job to positively impact the lives of our students. School psychologists provide direct support and interventions to children. As school psychologists, we also consult with teachers, families, and other school-employed mental health professionals such as school counselors and principals. Together we form a team and collaborate to provide academic, social, behavioral support, as well as other mental health services. By applying Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory, we can get a better understanding of the difficulties and stressors in an individual's life. Better yet, this theory will provide a framework for professionals to study in depth the relationships of individuals within communities and the wider society and the impacts that it has on them. As school-based professionals, we are sometimes faced with different challenges in order to meet the different needs of students and their families. For example, understanding the different family mechanisms and systems that affect an immigrant child can be difficult. Yet when we apply Bronfenbrenner's model, we are able to construct a better understanding of the various ecological systems that play an active role in the experiences of immigrant children. Bronfenbrenner would urge us to use his theory as a holistic theoretical approach, since immigrant families don't exist in isolation but are instead embedded within larger social constructs. Professionals should be aware of the different cultural backgrounds, including that of the new country, in order to foster working relationships between children and families. With the support of community mental health professionals, immigrant families can be provided with the help to make adjustments to a new country easier, and therefore reducing acculturation difficulties. Moreover, schools should encourage the respect for people of different cultural heritage and nationalities. This ecological framework can also be applied when looking into the serious, ongoing issue of bullying. Specifically, bullying directed towards the LGBTQ community has remained a serious concern for the last decades. When we look at statistics provided by the National School Climate Survey, we find that in 2009, 90% of sexual minority youths had been sexually harassed, while 4 out of 10 had experienced physical harassment due to their sexual orientation. According to Bronfenbrenner's ecological framework, homophobic bullying has become an ecological phenomenon due to bullying being perpetrated by different levels. More importantly, risk and protective factors have been identified at the individual, micro, exo, and macro levels. Both sex and sexual orientation deeply affect an individual. Adolescent boys are more likely to be involved with homophobic bullying, while girls are more likely to express their compassion for bullying victims. The social support from teachers and school personnel has been found to be insufficient. In other words, school personnel lack the training necessary to intervene in bullying situations. Peer relations and school climate are heavily influenced by the attitudes, beliefs, and norms of the community. Therefore, the community directly affects the school and peer relationships, while sometimes making them hostile. Due to the severity of this ongoing issue, it is crucial that we attempt to develop healthy peer relationships. School psychologists can support healthy identity development and acceptance for all students. We can show further support by supporting gay-straight alliances, as well as providing sensitive training for teachers and administrators to create a safe school climate.